Hey guys, MC Mura here, and today I wanted to talk about the identity crisis of Street Fighter 6. And I really want to talk about how Capcom is handling the game and the Capcom Street Fighter year. Let's call it the Street Fighter year because to me that just does not make any sense. Well, Mura, what are you talking about? Well, let me explain. So as you know, we're currently in year 3 of Street Fighter 6. This is season 3 and these are the year 3 past characters where we got Sagat, Viper. They already came out, great characters, amazing gameplay. I really been enjoying Viper. Haven't pretty much been playing anyone else for the past month or so, ever since she came out. We still got Alex, who's supposed to come out next, and Alex is supposed to come out in early spring. So we're talking March, maybe, best case scenario, and then we got Ingrid. And Street Fighter 6 is a game that have a professional tour circuit, the Capcom Pro Tour. If you're watching this video, you know what the Capcom Pro Tour is. And Capcom Pro Tour, the esports division, is something that Capcom is heavily pushing for Street Fighter 6. They want to make the professional circuit for this game really big, and we all heard about the Capcom Cup drama where it's pay-per-view event, and Capcom have separate divisions for the game development and for the esports, and they want the esports division to turn revenue. We all heard about that. But what I find to be really strange with Street Fighter 6 is the Street Fighter year. It's the fact that I feel like Capcom is not particularly catering to the esports of the game, and they're not particularly catering to it being a mainstream video game product. And this have a lot to do with how they release characters, the content rollout plan, and even like the tournament circuit and like the window at which they release characters. One thing that you notice with Street Fighter 6 when this game first came out, actually before it even came out, right? Which back then actually made a lot of sense, but one thing that we noticed with Street Fighter 6 is that Capcom never show gameplay trailer for characters at tournaments anymore. And this is something that they used to do. Like, for example, this is 2018, right? Where this is Combo Breaker. It was a Capcom Pro Tour premiere event. And at the top finals, or the top 8, they show the Cody trailer. And look, everyone is excited. Everyone is happy. Capcom, put Cody in Season 4, please. I beg you. But yeah, people were excited. People were happy. They don't do that anymore. Right, that never happens. Even at Capcom Cup, Capcom never shows anything content related anymore. That just doesn't happen. Remember the end of the first season where they didn't show Akuma at Capcom Cup for like the first Capcom Cup of the game, and they had Akuma. They had fucking Akuma. And they didn't show him, and then they dropped the random Akuma teaser on a random Capcom Tuesday stream. That was actually insane. So yeah, when it comes to showing the game, when it comes to how the content is distributed, it's not doing the Pro Tour any service. It's actually really, really weird. I wanted to make a comparison to Street Fighter 5, and I know we're beating a dead horse, but entertain me, right? So this is 2016, right? And for 2016, this was the first year for Capcom Cup for Street Fighter 5. So the tour started in late February and we ended it on early December. Capcom Cup 2016, that took place on the 4th of December where NknuckleDu won it, right? What's really interesting about this is that they started in February, ended in December, right? If you actually check out the DLC characters roadmap, they had Alex, Guile, Ibuki Balrog, Juri, Urien, and March, April, June, July, September, and then at December, once the cup was over, we got Akuma. We actually got the teaser for the next characters, the next batch of characters at the Capcom Cup, right? And this was so exciting. This was something that was a communal aspect that made watching tournaments so much fun. You would want to watch Capcom Cup because you want to see the next season characters. You maybe want to see like a hint at the balancing, what Capcom is planning, what they want to do. And the game would be playable at these events. Like this, for example, is a Street Fighter 5 Urien Cross-Up Season 2 change. This was like reported by Event Hub's old videos. That's a hell of a name, by the way. Where it's like, alright, they are at the event and they're showing showing, look at this. Yurian now, his jumping light kick is a cross up. That is fun. And people will check out the changes and the changes will be reported. That was so much fun. That was like really, really exciting. And then the next season, it's like we got Akuma, the first character of the next follow-up season, which was really fun. You got Colleen, you got Ed, Abigail, Minad, Zeku again, spread out evenly throughout the year. And then December, Capcom Cup happens. They show arcade editions, they show the excited trailer, they show us all of these new characters. And January, we got Sakura, we got arcade edition. December, again, Capcom Cup, they show Kage. Again, December, they show Gil, they show you the new updates. That was always a lot of fun. They kept you engaged with the Pro Tour because even if you are not the biggest diehard player of the game, the biggest diehard tournament watcher, tournament monster, you're still excited because you wanted to take a look at the future of the game. Unfortunately, that does not happen, right? So this tells me that Capcom is not really associating itself that much with the actual esports of Street Fighter 6. As a matter of fact, for this seasonal update, for this year Pro Tour, which started in early May, for the first time ever, they actually started the first couple of premieres, which were Japan and Combo Breaker. They played these two premieres on the Season 2 patch, which never happened. The game version and the actual Pro Tour were not in sync. For the first time ever, they actually were not synced, and they played the Season 3 tour on the Season 2 patch, which was actually kind of crazy, right? But if Capcom is not tying itself that much to esports, which is like, fine, we're gonna do it our way, we're gonna release stuff when it's ready, then the characters and their content rollout does not make any sense. Because here's the thing, Sagat and Viper, they already came out, right? We're talking about Alex, who comes out probably either at March or at the end of March. There is a very high chance that Alex is not gonna be eligible for Capcom Cup, right? Maybe they're keeping Alex for immediately after Capcom Cup. They didn't show the Alex Street Fighter 5 trailer at Final Round, but now they're gonna show him at Capcom Cup, although I doubt it. But it doesn't keep you excited. And you take a look at the character release date rollout for Street Fighter 6, and it's really weird. It's like, right, Rashid comes out July, September you get Aki. And then you wait until the end of February to get Ed. And remember, Capcom Cup takes place at March, so no one's ever gonna play Ed at Capcom Cup. Releasing a character just before the Cup, that doesn't make sense. And instead of making people excited for the Cup because you wanna see the future, that doesn't happen anymore, right? Am I gonna watch Capcom Cup in anticipation of the year 4 characters? No, because I already know that even after this Capcom Cup, where they're not gonna show Alex, they're not gonna show Ingrid, and you guess why they're not gonna show Alex? Because Alex is not gonna be shown at a pay-per-view event. If they're gonna show the trailer, then they want the trailer to be shown at a time where it's gonna get most eyes as possible. And it's a pay-per-view event, so it's not gonna happen. Go figures, right? So I'm gonna watch Capcom Cup, but I have no interest in Alex or Ingrid, maybe, or I already know they're coming. So I'm not that excited to watch it to see the future, right? Which is kind of a bummer. But what's really weird is that this was an interview that High Fight had with Nakayama-san and Matsumo-san, where they were talking about the game, and they said that they would like to patch the game more often, give it more balance patches, but they don't want to do it that much because they don't want to mess with the esports. Which to me is like really weird. Like, now we're getting to a point where I don't know the intent. Is this game supposed to be about the Pro Tour, or is this supposed to be about the product? If this game is supposed to be about the product and it being the live service game that it's supposed to be, then the content rollout makes no sense. right? Like releasing Sagat in August, releasing Viper in October, and having us wait through November, December, January, February, potentially March for 5 months. Each year they make us wait for like a good 5-6 months gap between the second and third character. That is actually crazy, especially that this happens at a time where you are supposed to be building excitement. You are supposed to try to get me excited for the peak of Street Fighter competition, the Capcom Cup, but it doesn't happen that way. Because the Capcom Cup, the Capcom Pro Tour was supposed to be one of the main marketing tools for the game. But it's not now. It's something that's supposed to turn in profit. But at the end, what happened is that it made people not really that excited. Are you watching Street Fighter League? Like I watch some of the games, but I'm not completely hooked when I'm watching everything. A ton of World Warriors, a ton of premieres are happening. I only watch a couple of matches that may seem interesting, but that's about it. And I feel like I'm not alone in that. I honestly feel like once they stop doing the trailers and reveals at the events, I feel like a lot of people maybe have stopped caring. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on how Capcom is handling this game as a product, as an esports, and their weird conflicting lack of direction, I feel like, where they're not really committing to making the esports as big as it could be, and they're not really committing on making the product as great as it could be. Because if the game was truly separate, and you know that people are bored, just batch the game. Who cares about esports? But if you're focusing so much on esports, then why not drive viewership into the esports by making the actual viewers excited to watch the esports, even if they don't care about the actual competition, because they do care about the actual game? I don't know, feels simple to me, but we are reinventing the wheel with Street Fighter 6. I just wanted to talk about this. I wanted to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts about everything I've been talking about so far, my rambling. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you find the content rollout to be a little bit weird? I would love to hear your thoughts all about it in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe.